Camille and I met during freshman orientation at college. She was vibrant and outspoken, the kind of person who commanded attention without trying. I was more reserved, but we balanced each other out. "You have to be my bridesmaid someday," she declared one night during our junior year, sprawled across my dorm room floor surrounded by textbooks. "I'm going to have the most incredible wedding. Just wait." I laughed. "I'll be there with bells on." "No bells," she corrected seriously. "Only what I approve. It has to be perfect." I should have recognized the warning signs back then. 10 years later, when her boyfriend Jake proposed to her on a beach in Maui, I was the first person she called. "Ava." Her voice came through the phone, breathless with excitement. "He did it. Jake proposed." "Oh my God, Camille. Congratulations." I squealed, genuinely thrilled for her. "I want you as one of my bridesmaids. Please say yes." "Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world." "Perfect. I already have a vision board started. This wedding is going to be magazine-worthy." Over the next year, Camille's vision became our collective burden. Each bridesmaid received a binder with expectations, schedules, and approved styles. We needed 3 specific dresses for different events, shoes dyed to match precisely, and jewelry selected from an approved collection. "The lavender looks a little different than in the catalog," I mentioned during a fitting, pinching the excess fabric at my waist. Camille's eyes narrowed as she slipped on her shoes. "It's the lighting in here. The dress is perfect. Just get it tailored." I nodded, swallowing my concerns about the additional cost. Later that evening, the other bridesmaids and I gathered at Leah's apartment to assemble favor boxes. "I had to cancel my dental appointment to be here," whispered Tara, carefully tying the ribbons. She actually sent me a calendar invite with a mandatory attendance flag. Leah snorted. "Yesterday she texted me asking if I'd considered extending my eyelash extensions for the wedding." "I don't even have eyelash extensions." "She means well," I said, though my defense sounded hollow even to my own ears. "She's just stressed." "No," said Megan, the most outspoken of our group. "This is beyond stressed. This is control freak territory." I changed the subject. Despite everything, Camille was still my friend. "She'd do the same for us," I said. Megan raised an eyebrow. "Would she, though?" "Yes." I went all in. I co-hosted Camille's shower, jumped in for the bachelorette redo, and even helped her rewrite the seating chart at 1 a.m. once. Then, in December, I noticed more hair than usual in my shower drain. By January, it was coming out in alarming amounts when I brushed. In February, the bald spots became impossible to hide. My doctor's face was serious as she reviewed my test results. "It's related to your hormone imbalance. The medication adjustment should help, but it will take time." "And my hair?" "It might continue to thin before it improves. Some patients find it easier to cut it short until things stabilize." I cried all the way home. My hair had always been my favorite feature, long, thick, dark waves that reached the middle of my back. The same hair Camille had specifically mentioned in her bridesmaid aesthetic guidelines. After weeks of watching more hair disappear, I made the decision. The stylist was kind, showing me pictures of sophisticated pixie cuts that might work with my face shape. "You have perfect features for short hair," she encouraged. "It's going to look stunning." When it was done, I stared at my reflection, touching the short strands that now barely covered my ears. It was different and dramatic. But not terrible. Maybe even cute. 2 weeks before the wedding, I invited Camille for coffee. "I need to show you something," I said, removing my beanie. Her eyes widened. "Oh my God. Well, what happened to your hair? I know it's a change." "Ava, what the hell? It's so short." "It was this or have patchy bald spots for your wedding," I explained, telling her about my diagnosis. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I'm sorry you're going through this. We'll make it work. Relief washed over me. Thank you for understanding. Of course, she said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. What are friends for? A week later, Camille showed up unannounced at my apartment. I was in the neighborhood, she said, hovering awkwardly in my doorway. Her eyes kept darting to my hair. Come in, I offered. Want some tea? No, I can't stay. I've been thinking about the wedding photos. What about them? I'm just worried your hair will throw off the symmetry in the photos. I laughed, thinking she was joking. What? The symmetry. All the other girls have long hair that can be styled identically. Her voice was strained. It's just not what I planned. I can style it nicely, I assured her. There are lots of cute ways to dress up a pixie cut. She nodded, a tight smile on her face. Sure. We'll figure something out. As she left, a knot formed in my stomach. Something felt off. That evening, I texted Leah, did Camille seem weird at rehearsal? She kept showing the photographer our bridesmaid photos from last year. Why, came the reply. She came by today concerned about my hair, throwing off the symmetry in photos. Leah, you're kidding. It's just hair. That's what I said. Leah, your pixie is adorable. She needs to get over herself. I put my phone away, trying to ignore my growing unease. 3 days before the wedding, my phone buzzed with a text from Camille. We need to talk. Call me when you can. I called immediately. Hey, what's up? I sent you an email, she said, her voice oddly formal. Please read it and let me know your thoughts. Before I could respond, she hung up. With trembling fingers, I opened my email. There it was, a long, cold paragraph. After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries. I've been very accommodating, but I can't allow you to disrespect my vision. My wedding is something I've dreamed of for years. I've invested a lot in the photos and memories, and your inconsistency concerns me. While I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise. Since you can no longer fully commit, I need you to step down from the wedding. My heart raced. Step down? 3 days before the wedding? After everything? I read it again, disbelief turning to anger. I called her back, but she didn't answer. I texted, are you seriously kicking me out of your wedding because of my hair? 20 minutes later, her response came. It's not just the hair. It's about respecting my vision. I'm sorry if you can't understand that. That's when something in me snapped. I created a meticulous invoice. 3 dresses, $450. Shoes, $280. Alterations, $175. Jewelry, $90. Bridal shower contribution, $125. Bachelorette planning, $80. Total, $1,200. I attached it to an email addressed to both Camille and Jake. Since I've been removed from the wedding party due to my medical condition affecting my appearance, I'll need to be reimbursed for these expenses. 1 dress is still at your house, you can keep it or return it, but payment is expected regardless. I wish you both the best. Ava. I hit send, then blocked Camille's number. The next morning, I woke to an email from Jake. Ava, I had no idea this happened. I'm talking to Camille. This isn't right. I didn't respond. What was there to say? That afternoon, my phone lit up with a text from a number I didn't recognize. Ava, it's Leah using Megan's phone. Are you okay? Camille told us you dropped out because you were insecure about your hair. What's really going on? I sent her screenshots of Camille's email and my invoice. Holy cow, came the reply. That's cold-blooded. Stay tuned. Leah texted an hour later. We're handling this. The next day, my doorbell rang. It was Megan, Leah, and Tara, standing there with wine bottles and determined expressions. We quit, announced Megan, pushing past me into the apartment. You what? I gasped. We all messaged her the same thing, Leah explained, uncorking a bottle. Pay Ava back or we're out too. You didn't have to do that, I said, feeling a lump in my throat. Yes, we did, said Tara firmly. What she did was cruel. And honestly? We're all exhausted by her bridezilla routine. Jake called me, Megan added, handing me a glass. He's mortified. Said he had no idea you'd spent so much or that Camille was fixated on your hair. What did she say? I asked. Leah snorted. According to Tara's cousin who's doing the flowers, she had a complete meltdown. Screaming, crying, the works. I don't want to ruin her wedding. You're not, Megan replied with a shrug. She did that all by herself. My phone pinged with a payment notification. $1,200 from Camille, with a note attached. I hope you're happy. You made this so much harder than it had to be. I showed the others, who erupted in cheers. Don't respond, advised Tara. It's exactly what she wants. I nodded, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. So what now? Leah grinned wickedly. Now we drink this wine and I tell you about how we're going to botch that ridiculous choreographed entrance she's been drilling us on. 2 days after the wedding, a package arrived at my door. Inside was the lavender dress, still in its original packaging with tags attached. There was a note from Jake, the replacement bridesmaid's dress never arrived. Thought you should have this back. I'm sorry for everything. I texted the girls on our usual group chat, the one without Camille. Got the dress back. Apparently the emergency replacement never showed. Megan replied first, Karma working overtime. Leah, you should have seen her at the wedding. Half of us showed up late, nobody did the dance right, and her mom kept asking where you were. Tara, she told people you had a personal emergency. I made sure to correct that narrative. You should have seen her face, it was epic. I smiled, looking at the dress. Once, I had imagined wearing it beside my friend on her special day. It now represented something different, the price of standing up for myself. What should I do with the dress? I texted. Megan's response came immediately, donation bonfire at my place. Saturday. Bring marshmallows. I laughed out loud, then paused, struck by a better idea. Actually, I'm thinking of donating it to that organization that gives formal wear to patients undergoing treatment. My doctor mentioned it. The responses flooded in immediately with heart emojis, applause, and enthusiastic approval. As I laughed, I realized something important. I hadn't just lost a friend. I discovered who my real friends were all along. And even with my new haircut and lighter bank account, I felt more like myself than I had in months. Sometimes, the most beautiful moments come after the ones that break you. Sometimes, standing up for yourself costs exactly $1,200. And sometimes, karma doesn't need your help at all, it just needs you to step aside and let it work its magic. Turns out, that's worth every penny. Write in the comments what would you have done and subscribe to our channel. D-Damn Mix.